Now this year alone, inside of 12 months, building a residual income of nearly $60,000, yes, that's entirely true. But I just got to apologize up front because it sounds so freaking clickbaity. I mean, the reality is that that's what I'm making this year in real estate. That's not what I made my first year. It's not what I made my second year or my third year. But every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I want you to understand that in today's video, what I want to do is I want to inspire you and excite you with principles that actually work, that have the ability year after year after year, month after month, to actually build a bigger and bigger and bigger compounding cash flow so that ultimately you can live life, not meagerly, not just basic financial freedom, but absolute financial freedom.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
I mean, there's no doubt. I've got buddies of mine that are on YouTube and it's always, look at my Lamborghini. And I mean, you know, clearly I drive nice cars and I live in a nice house, but I don't like being that guy that like has to rub it and shove it and just say, hey, look at my lifestyle. Look at the 40 countries I've traveled to and look at how great I've got it. You know, but the reality is I have got it that great. And there's a lot of showing off I could do that. Frankly, I don't. Maybe for some of you, you're like, Kris, you've shown off enough. But for most of you, it's really not my style because I want you to really get the essence of who I am and also what I'm about so that we can connect authentically with each other. You know, producing $60,000 of monthly income just in these 12 months alone, that's a byproduct of me buying 300 homes this year. And that's buying 300 homes without putting a penny into it. It's what I teach my students how to do. It's what I teach my partners how to do. And today I want to teach you how you can actually do this for yourself. Now, do I believe in 12 months that you're going to create $60,000 of monthly passive income? I wouldn't bet on it because I think maybe less than 1% of anyone out there could actually make that happen. But I think if you give yourself time, you can absolutely get there. The question is, how do you get started on the journey? How do you actually make that possible? I'm going to break it down for you. My first 4 years was all about me purchasing 25 homes. Now, if you're a subscriber to my channel, you hear me talk about elements of my story, so you've heard some of this before. If you're not, you need to be a subscriber because mother is the repetition. You need to understand that I'm about to share with you the principle that has probably made me more money, bar none, than anything. And it's called the principle of track record. Track record is the most valuable asset in business to me. I've never found an asset more valuable. I wouldn't trade all of my experience right now for $100 million because all of my experience is worth way more than that. I'm about to go into the recession with you and do billions of dollars of real estate. I'm not going to trade that because the track record is more important than any money I made on my initial real estate investments. Now, these 4 years, I got 25 homes and that ultimately equated to $12,000 a month. But if we break down further and say year one, I bought a house and I had a $600 cash flow. The next year I bought another house, I had a $1,200 cash flow. The next year I bought 4 or 5 more, I had a few $1,000. Then after that I got up to 25 homes producing $12,000 a month. Fast forward to where I'm at this year, I'm buying over 300 homes. That's going to equate to $60,000 a month of reoccurring income to me. But I'm also going to tell you that if we fast forward just 2 years into the next great recession that's coming up, I am going to buy a total during that period of time of 70,000 homes. And the goal is to take $1 billion and it's to turn it into $4 billion. By the way, you might be a part of that. Another reason to subscribe or get a copy of my book or get on my newsletter, because I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this with you, whether you know it or not. You can have a piece of this pie. You can have a piece of this action. Track record is what this whole conversation is about. So there are 3 steps that I want to teach you in this video that I used in the last 12 months to create that passive income for me. And the model is the same no matter how big or small that number is going to be for you the next 12 months. By the way, this is that 12-month period of time. So the first thing that you do is you build a track record, like I said. And even if in the beginning your track record is 1 or 2 or 3, here's your first goal. Get to 1 home and then 2 and then 3. When someone sees that you bought a home, they're skeptic and they don't think you can duplicate it, and neither do you for that matter. When you do a second home, you might be onto something, but when you have 3, you now start having the beginning of a positive pattern. You have the beginning of a track record. Now, by the way, 10 homes is a better track record than 3, but 3, in my opinion, is the start of a track record. So your first goal this first year might be, I want to get 3 homes, even if it's with no money and no credit using Kris's system. Once you have a track record, the second thing that you need to do is you need to sell that track record, which means that you bring on partners. And what those partners do is they bring the money and you do the work. And now all of a sudden, guess what you've done? You've taken that track record and now you can multiply it 10 times over, and then 100 times over, and then 1,000 times over. The third step then has to do not with money, it has to do with quality of life. It has to do with automation. Automate. When you automate this whole deal, something really amazing happens. You start getting back not just money freedom, but you also have time freedom. And in my opinion, there are two freedoms that matter the most. I want my freedom of time, and then I want my freedom of opportunity. And both of those come from the game of money and learning how to do this. So friends, that's what I'm doing these 12 months. That's where that income's coming from. And it's going to be 10 times bigger in the next year because of the special recession that's upon us. If you want to figure out how you can follow these 3 steps, get a copy of my book if you haven't yet. And if you've already gotten a copy of my book, then you've got to be hitting the link below to talk to my team and get a free consultation. If you're sitting on a little bit of funds and you're like, Kris, what's your track record? My track record is 4,000 homes. And during up and down sideways economies, crushing it. So if you want, you can also click a link below and look at partnering with me, where I can take you to the very best markets and get you on the most luscious return on investments that are actually out there. And you can play the game at a bigger level. Whatever level you're at, there's a way for you to start today. So do that. Finally, rise up, take that next big step, find your mentor and make your move. Make it happen. Now is that time. See you on tomorrow's video.